Alrighty here. I'll be going live in about 1 minute. Just want to let some people connect. Alright, so I'm going to go live real quick. So far, the S&P 500 is dropping from over the weekend. We're at 3,375.25. And I'm going to just go ahead and go into a quick little view here of the ES. So as you can see, this candle right here represents tomorrow. We are dropping. And I'm going to turn down CNBC Asia real quick as I go over this. So first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and zoom into a Renko chart. As you can see, the drop started here at 12:59 or 1800, 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock the market opened, dropped from 3,388 to about 3,376.50-ish. And it's run just about sideways now. It's starting to form a little bit of a scallop, as if it could start riding back up just a bit. Go into a minute. This is going to be that drop that we witnessed on the block chart, brick chart, or Renko chart. This is that sideways moving almost to a scallop currently. And overall, we're going to just look at the year. We've had the negative trade deal news dropping us down to the support. The Iran attack on U.S. forces in Iraq dropped us down. The coronavirus dropped us down from an all-time high here. We then rallied from the Amazon earnings report, dropped again due to the coronavirus and the Trump impeachment trial that was going on. And we've rallied since then up until Thursday and Friday. There's a bit of market hesitation. We actually had this drop that turned into a large wick. The drop was due to more negative virus news coming from China. That was at night when it started. Now I'm going to turn up CNBC Asia right now, see if they're saying anything as I go ahead and load up some of my watch list.
In Beijing, according to the WHO, are going to be also visiting Guangdong as well as Sichuan as they continue to investigate how the virus is being treated in each of these provinces in the city as the country itself is trying to control the outbreak.
So as you can see, we're still talking about the coronavirus.
National Health Commission talking about how they're treating the disease. This is what they had to say.
Now listen to this.
So far, there are more than 10,000 cured patients, which has created a favorable condition for us to use convalescent plasma in the treatment of severe and critical patients. I would like to call upon the cured patients to donate their plasma so as to bring hope to the severe and critical patients.
So as we know, the World Health Organization has also been looking to the outbreak there, and they're going to be looking to understand the application and impact response at the provincial as well as county levels.
All right, so I'm going to turn this back down, but obviously we're still overall bearish on the market due to this virus. I'm going to make my top TV screen up here, go to my overall year. For in the morning when I wake up, I like to look at this before I get the day started. And just so you can see here, this is currently where my market or where my account is at. I have no stocks I'm holding, no companies currently I'm in. I sold everything before the close of the market. I currently have $40,021.26. I have all cash on hand ready going into the market, as you can see right here. And other than that, we're going to go over some watch list items real quick. Let me go back to my charting screen. So first thing I'm going to do is load up my flex grid, and we're going to look at, so Apple I had this wedge. I made some money on it while I was in this wedge. I was hoping for a breakout, but Apple actually, let's go AAPL. Just a moment. AAPL. But Apple just announced over the weekend some bearish news that we're going to be seeing in the earnings report coming up, some effects due to this virus. So I'm not sure if we're going to continue to break higher. We'll probably lay in a zone around here, if not drop lower, and that'll be a good opportunity for a buy-in. I can zoom out to a 3-year, and this was the wedge that I had before the jump up. I highly doubt that we will drop back to retest this zone. However, this area right here, this little flag pattern somewhat, it could maybe retest this zone. That'd be really nice for an entry for people into Apple. Not really going to watch it close. AMD, I already got past that rally there. Amazon, I got that gap up. So Roku should be another good one to look at. So here's Roku. I got quite a bit of lines up there. Try not to get distracted by them. Each line, if you see it, follows this bottom, so it's a support. And it was a part of this bottom and this top for a wedge. As you can see, we are in this wedge here. I use this as a marker and this as a marker. This little wedge here is what I used to get this gap up. I sold up here and the day dropped. But I would be looking for more than likely a retest down on this wedge and then overall market strength, because Roku's starting to do a little bit better. As you can see, they got a negative 22 cents and then a negative 13 cents on the last report. So let's go back into Flex Grid, and now let's start looking at some companies that are testing on a support zone. So AutoZone will be one, as you can see down right here. AZO, we're going to go ahead and take a look at AZO. And this is on a 5-year chart. As you can see, this bottom, creating this line here that we're testing on as we speak. Then I got this zone right here for another line, and this zone right here for another line. But overall, as you can see, in 10 years, this is AutoZone, and for a buy-in location, it could be good. However, this could be the top of a mountain here, and if we drop below, we could go back retesting this zone here and then look for a really good buying opportunity. I don't know much about AutoZone on the news. Of course, I could look through the news on my own time, but it's just a good area to watch on the 1-year chart, where your candles represent 1 day, and basically watch this line it's riding. If it drops below and stays below, don't worry about it. If it starts riding up above, could be a good investment or swing trade opportunity. And now let's go into, let's see here, Intel is breaking past this flag pattern zone it had. See, I could draw this line in right here, kind of about right like that. You see what I'm talking about? This zone right here. Okay. Alright, so now we got LW. Nike could be, okay, so Nike I already got off this bounce here. AutoZone we talked about. RH is breaking past a wedge. Dollar Tree is a good one. DLTR. Oops, what did I do there? I messed that one up. Let me typed it in the wrong spot. Let me go back to, okay, Intel. Alright, so back here, and what was I looking at? Dollar Tree, DLTR. Alright. So for Dollar Tree, you see this zone, this line we're riding on? We're going to zoom back, look at a 5-year chart. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's look at a 10-year chart. Alright, 10-year chart, you got this bottom, You got this bottom, this bottom. Overall, it drops down into that zone. We're in that zone again with an overall uptrend on Dollar Tree. Currently, the price is at, let's see, $88.68. I'd say probably about $98 to $99 be a good little jump here. It could easily get. It could rally even more if you want to sell half your shares, but that's another good one to look at, as you can see. Let's just go back to it real quick and go into a year. So that's what it looks like. Okay. All right, and what else do we got here we want to talk about? So JD and Alibaba, I'd be skittish on those now just simply because of the coronavirus. But that's pretty much it. Schrodo, hey Baker, check out NOC. All right, let's take a look at it. All right. So let's look at a 5-year. Let's zoom out even more. Let's look at a 20. All right, 20-year. Check this out. Let's look into a 10-year. All right. Let's just go ahead and take this zone here. Use a line on it. All right, we're just going to take this as a middle line. You see what I did here? I'm just going to take this, use it as just a overall middle line here. And then what I'll do is I'll zoom way over here just to ride it out a little bit. Okay, so that's a good little spot. I'm going to go back, reset it. I'm going to zoom in more now. We're going to go in a 5-year chart. There's that line. All right, now we got a new zone, this zone right here for a bottom. So let's go into a year. Let's zoom back out. Let's take a look at 3 years. Okay, let's catch it pretty nice. We want to take this bottom. You know, we got this zone right here. We got this zone right here, but let's use this, obviously. This is another nice trend that it followed for a bit. Alright, there's that. And really, those are my two like definite lines to follow. Now, in the last year, it started to act up a little different here. So now we're starting to see let's say this zone. Alright, so now we got this zone here too. So we got 3 pretty good zones here that we can really look at. If we drop below this and stay below it, could ride back to this area right here and just continue this sideways momentum that it's had. You know, from this high zone here and this low zone here. And I mean, let's look at some news for this guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about it, Baker? I didn't go too crazy on it, I didn't think. I would, honestly, if it gets back into this zone right here and hugs this line for a bit, and then starts to break up out of it, I'd be looking at a buying opportunity. If it drops below this zone, obviously I'd be looking for it just to be going to an overall bearish. But if it holds above this zone right here, I'd say it's a good overall buying opportunity. And really, all it's going to do that's that long-term zone. You see, if we go way back, you said don't get crazy with it, but if we jump back to a 10-year and it's on that line, and if we would jump back to a 20-year, that 20-year, okay, sorry, let's say 10-year, that 10-year overall trend right there is very important, and we're on it. So I'd say it wouldn't surprise me if it just continues to follow this trend, breaking down below it and breaking up above it. I would say anytime you're down below this zone, so down here would have been obviously a good buying opportunity. But anywhere down below this zone here would probably be a good time to buy in. And anytime above it would probably be a time to stay cautious or even sell. Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. I like it overall just as something to watch. I'm just going to go ahead and add it to the watch list. Why not? Something to take a gander at here and there. Very cool though. So let's see. Also have SYK. Let's take a look. After this one, I may get off. So got some friends coming over, and the kids are awake. So we had this bottom here. Looks like it pretty much tested this bottom. Had a little bit more market strength here to just kick us up out of it. It's back on that zone. Now let's zoom out a little bit more. Take a look at a 5-year. Okay, cool. Let's go way out, 20. Wow, look at that on a 20. All right. So overall, we're really approaching high zones for this overall stock if you look at it. Yeah, so now let's go into 10-year. Let's just say this company Skyline continues to just have strength and none of that past matters. Then I'd say our next good zone here would be, let's look at that 5. There we go. So definitely an overall, just if you want to go just off an overall middle, I'd say this would be a good zone here. Highs and lows, which meets us right back where we're at. And then a good little low zone here. I mean, if you're bearish on this company, I'd say it's another good zone. Because of these last, let's look here. Okay, so I'd definitely be watching this sucker for some more market strength. Be keeping your eye on your volume. So obviously what we want to watch for here is the market to keep strength around this zone here. As you can see, falling all the way through. But we just want to see buyers kick in. So we want to see green. We want to see overall market strength. We want to just see it to start to scallop. If we got a nice healthy scallop we can start getting out of this, kind of just riding this zone right here, and it starts scalloping its way out, I'd be looking for a buy probably right in around 29.50 to then get us out of this. I'd be looking for a nice healthy scallop though. If it doesn't do a nice healthy scallop, I don't know. If it starts getting choppy here, I'd then just kind of keep an eye on it and just watch for some more, support and resistance zones. But oh, you said not. Okay, you said SYK. That's funny. So let's let's look at that. That's cool. But yeah, that was a good one. I don't know, a little random one. I like this better. So we're going 10-year here. So just an overall middle zone here that we're in. Let's go into a 3-year. So I'd say this zone looks pretty healthy for a 3-year, somewhere about in right here. Let's take a look at a year. Yeah, I don't think it's looking like a good buying opportunity. Of course, if it continues to rally, it continues to rally. And if you zoom in, I look at it as a swing trader, marking an following an investor's waves. If you wanted to zoom in more towards like a, I'm just glancing around real quick. Give me a minute. Looking for patterns. Yeah, I didn't see anything I liked. I mean, if you're looking for a breakout zone, honestly, I'd be watching this 223.45 high. I'd be waiting for it to basically stay in this zone right here, build a nice flag pattern, wedge pattern, something like that. Build up some strength, watch volume. And typically when I look at breakout strategies like this, I look for that, and once it starts getting that, then those days when that wedge starts getting really tight, then I know, okay, on those days, that's when I start getting in a 5 or 1 minute, and then on the day it starts making rallies, that's when I jump into my Renko chart and then do my charts through a brick chart like this. And that's when I either take a scalp or get into a good entry where I let it rally for a little bit and put in a stop loss with a overall win, and then just hope for a good long rally. I do that with companies I'm not too fond of. I got a lot of companies I've been trained for years. I know how they work, so that's kind of my opinion. But yeah, it's not a horrible setup. More of a breakout pattern though. More like I'd be looking more for it to start doing stuff like Intel, LW, RH, Baba, JD, just to kind of start creating that dragon's head, that wedge pattern. Basically a flag pattern, symmetrical triangle, a pennant, a measured move up, something like that. Maybe even ascending triangle. Ascending triangles, though, I'm skeptical on. They usually end up, they're not much of a bullish pattern for my history of trading. So let's see here. All right, let's look at one more. Alta. All right, Alta. This is what like a beauty company, isn't it? Look at that, man. This it's just nice, clean zones. Let's go ahead and edit this guy. We're gonna put you in the dark. All right, my middle zones like that, I like to just kind of darken them so they're not in the way. It's not really a support or a resistance zone, but I like to just keep an eye on them. So this guy right here, I want to do the same with. All right, so we obviously got some good areas to look at here. So obviously you got your bottom here. You got a nice little wedge here, or bottoms here that you can draw off of. I mean, man. Man, I would have really been looking for something more in this gap up here. So I'd like to find out what caused this drop here during this earnings report. If I followed this company and knew a lot about it, I would know a lot more on how to trade this, how to look at it. This is another company that there's no pattern, nothing really recognizable or anything to make me want to jump in. I mean, obviously you could take this right here and try and zoom in on it, and try and make a little low out of here kind of deal. Not even really enough to even create some kind of flag or wedge to break out of here. Nothing for me. I mean, too many other ones to Nothing really from me on that one. I mean, definitely a good company to watch for zones. I mean, man, it just using like a MACD and a RSI on this guy right here. I bet you could have made a lot of money in the long run off of this guy. Instead of using that MACD and RSI, what I created was this study here. So this is overbought, oversold zones. So on this indicator, what I do is this is telling me your buy for your moving average, your RSI crossover, and then this green line right here is telling you when your MACD crosses over. So basically, you wait for your arrow, wait for your dot, and that would have been your buy-in. This and this would have been another buy-in. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a bad company just to overall trade in the long run. Yeah, I'll see you later, Baker. You take care, brother. I'm gonna jump off too. It'll be a fun day tomorrow, though, that's for sure. 13 hours until the market opens. I got 40,000 cash on hand, and let's go back to the ES. And as you can see, let's just zoom back into that Renko chart. And from that drop, now we're pretty much running sideways. So really waking up in the morning and looking at where we're at is going to depend on how I'm going to trade tomorrow. If I'm going to be short in the futures market or buying some swing trades. So, or could short the futures market and at the end of the day buy into some swing trades. We'll see. But that's it. Everybody take care. Have a good night.